singing songs and drinking wine.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the AM show. My name is Judea Hartley, and it is indeed our 100th episode. And as a treat, we have a very special, very qualified, well-equipped guest. Today, his name is Brent Webb, and I'm super excited to have Brent on the show. But before he joins us, I just want to tell you guys that Brent Webb is an acclaimed mind power expert, right? He's a life transformational and authority and spiritual teacher. And Brent actually has been seen on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox History, BBC America, and TLZ. So I'm going to introduce him a little bit further, but without further ado, would you please give a warm, loving-filled welcome to inspirational and motivational speaker, Brent Webb.
Yeah.
Hi, Brent.
Hey, how you doing? Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you so much. Listen, it's truly a milestone. So we are really just blessed to even have made it this far. Yes.
Yeah, 100 episodes today is amazing.
Yes, thank you so much. So Brent, I have done my research on you, and I am so excited to get into the details and the intricacies, to pick your brain regarding this interview and what you do. But before I do that, I gotta let the folks know just a little bit about who you are. So Brent Webb provides the tools needed to redefine your mind so you can create the space necessary for the important positive shifts that make every day better than the last. With a unique approach for everyone combined with exceptional guidance and contagious enthusiasm, I love that, Brent guarantees a lasting impression, which is what we need, and powerful and positive changes in your life. His career has taken him to the four corners of the world. And one thing is certain, he is one speaker and life coach you will remember forever. He is also an acclaimed mind power expert and motivational speaker, and had headlined his own programs at hotels, resorts, casinos, cruise ships, and colleges. And Brent has also created seminars and training programs for Fortune 500 companies and corporations, including Google, Ford Motor Company, Nabisco, and Hilton Hotels. I love that. Brent has also worked with artists such as Shaka Khan, and I am just so excited, Brent, to pick your brain. So first, how are you today?
I am fantastic. You should write a biography on me because you know everything.
I mean, I just love it. I love when I get the opportunity to interview, right? To have a conversation, right? To gain counsel from people who actually have devoted their lives into making other people's lives better, right? Like you contribute to that richness of other people's lives. So I can't wait to take a deep dive into it. So my first question, Brent, I'm so ready. You actually are an author as well, and the title of your book is The Secrets of Mind Control. Brent, you gotta spill all the tea on how that came about, what that process has been like, and what has that success of the book looked like so far.
Well, it came about, I've been doing, this is my 30th year. So I've been touring the world and I've never done anything else. But I've worked with mainly, like you said, corporations and celebrities and sports teams. And during COVID, I started to realize, I'm really working with the wrong people. These are all millionaires, billionaires. They have this information, right? They have a staff of people. It's the regular people. It's the masses that don't know that they're sitting on the most powerful supercomputer ever invented. They've got this mind, but they have no idea how to use it. Nobody ever tells us how to use it. In school, all they tell us, you need to focus, you need to do this. Did they ever teach us how to do that? No. And so now that I've been working with, regular groups of people and, people like you and me, and it just changes everything because, knowing that you have this God-given power, you just don't know how to use it, it changes your outlook because you can really accomplish pretty much anything, with the
Yeah.
right belief system. So I put it all in the book. Mind control it's not so much about, there's a lot in there about our minds being controlled by the government, by the media, by that. But it's also, mind control is controlling your own mind. Because that's really the key. When you learn to control your own mind, control the way you react, control the way you get sucked into a dramatic situation, it changes everything because you're controlling your mind instead of allowing everyone else to do it. And that's what most people do. They allow the world, their friends, their family, their mate, whatever, to control the outcome. And so this is kind of taking your power back.
Oh my gosh, I love that. This is my kind of thing, Brent, because as you said, like so many things happen. And I think that when you, like, in order to control your mind, that's a process. That's a process and that's a journey that you have to be committed to because, like you said, if you don't control your mind, you are literally giving your power away. You are reacting to every action. You are coming out of character. You are disregarding the work, right? Because it takes work to control your mind. You are disregarding the work that you're trying to put in, and it's really just contaminating your healing process. So with that being said, I love that. With that being said, Brent, how do we unlock? How do we do this hard thing, Brent? How do we not respond to people who want a response to us, to people who abuse us, Brent, to people who take us for granted? How do we unlock our minds?
Okay, first thing, if you're somebody who's never done any kind of mind work, the first thing you need to do is to just bring awareness to it. Being aware immediately, you're almost there to the solution because most people are sleepwalking. They're walking through their lives completely oblivious to the fact that there's anything else going on. It's like when we're born, we're programmed. Our parents, and not in a bad way, but our teachers, our friends, we are programmed with their ideas, their beliefs, their racism, their whatever it is. And we pick up on that. So the first thing I tell people is awareness. So you're walking down the street, you're doing something, and you get a negative thought. Become aware of it. Instead of letting it take over and pull you into a pit, you become aware. Okay, there's a negative thought going on. And you have to know it's not the truth. It's not the future. It's not the voice of God. It's just your past. Your brain is there to protect you. So it's throwing up all these things. And how negative our minds are. It's like having this roommate you can't get away from 24/7. They're living in your house and all they're doing is telling you why you can't do something. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're too this or too that. So becoming aware, there's a voice talking in there. That voice is not you. That changes everything because you realize you are the soul. You're the awareness. You're the person realizing this is happening. You're kind of above it, the situation. It takes you out of it because otherwise somebody says something, it makes you mad. It pulls you in.
Yeah.
And it could be a week, a month, a year later, you realize I've been completely oblivious to what's happening. So awareness is huge. You're driving, somebody's driving slow in front of you, let it go. Instead of being in your car arguing with the person, like they have no idea, right? They're driving along and you're back there arguing and yelling and you let those easy things go. And the more you do that, the more you let go of things like the weather. You're going on a picnic and it's going to rain today. So now the universe hates you, right? Because your picnic's been ruined. You let it go. And when you do those little things, you let them go, it gives you more of your power back, more of your willpower back. And then you take that and you direct it where it matters. So it's a long form game because everything that got us here was repetition. We did all the bad things. We ate all the bad foods. We did all of the things in repetition to get us where we are. So now to get us out, it takes some repetition of the right things. And that's what mind power does.
Wow. Okay, so Brent, you said a lot of things just in that one response. I love that. I'm like, oh goodness, there's so many ways we can peel this onion. I love that you said that the first step is awareness. When you're walking down the street, right? Because I'm trying to practice this right now, Brent. When you're walking down the street or maybe doing your makeup, maybe washing your dishes, whatever you're doing, and a negative thought comes into your mind, you have the power to decide. Sounds like like there's some decision making in here to not dwell on that negative thought, to not let that negative thought consume you. And I think when you were speaking, I just got reminded of the importance of self-love, because I think that if you don't love yourself, you're going to start believing those lies about you. A part of you is going to believe that. And then you also said, let the easy things go. It's insane how we don't even realize how much emphasis we put on the negative small things, right? Like you're going to a picnic and it's gonna rain. Like, just let it go. I think the importance in life, you have to learn how to pivot. You have to learn how to pivot, because not everything is gonna go your way. And just because a negative thought pops inside your mind, it doesn't mean that, like you said, the universe hates you. Like, stop making such a strong analysis over something so small. So I love that. With that being said, Brent, I want to ask you, why do you think we've been put on this earth? Like, what are we supposed to do here, Brent, in this waiting room, right? Because we know that it's fleeting and that it's temporary. What's the primary reason we are down here? Why do you think?
Well, I mean, I think we're down here to learn. We're down here to help each other. We're down here. We're not down here to worry about what Mary thinks about our dress. We're not down here to worry about, having the newest iPhone and showing off to our friends. That's the problem. We are so brainwashed by this society. So we're here for our fellow man. We're here for love. We're here to give it, to receive it, we're so trapped in all these other things. So, I think you realize you're on a marble that's hurtling through space, right? And people are mad about their shoes not being the right color or something that's just so crazy, right? Mm-hmm. You have to realize this is the most unbelievable thing ever. You're on this amazing planet where you have everything at your fingertips, you're hurtling through space, and you're here for just a moment. So let go of that easy stuff and help each other and find out, about each other. And this whole idea that we're all separate from each other, that's a man-made thing. I mean, we're all one. We're all part of the same, but we've divided ourselves by nationality and color and man versus woman. It's all a man-made thing to get us pitted against each other. Freedom exists on the other side, where we're all one, we're all connected. All we want to do is help each other. I help you, you help me. We lift each other up, and we're just not good at that, right? In this point in time, so many people have a hard time with that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was so deep and so real, because you absolutely, Brent, see the segregation. Oh goodness. You absolutely, well, you're a single mother, so you're not good enough for this. Oh, you are homeless, so you're unintelligent, right? You are an African-American male, so you don't have the intellectual capacity to perform a task at a higher level. Like, we really do abide, and we are slaves to this man-made structure of rules in this society in regards to what's acceptable, what's not, right? What's considered valuable, what's not. So I love that. Speaking of the division and the segregation that we are facing, what does a healthy relationship look like?
A healthy relationship with yourself, with someone else? What are we talking about?
A healthy good question. I like that specificity. A healthy relationship with your mind. It starts with us first.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Everyone is always looking for someone to make them happy, something to make them happy. I'll be happy when I get this new girlfriend. I'll be happy when I get this job. And so what it does, it puts you on a hamster wheel where you're chasing happiness.
Yeah.
And it's never where you are. Happiness is always slightly ahead of you in that when you're doing that. So the first thing you got to do is, we stop labeling each other. Ooh. Just like you said. And I don't just mean, with race and with, it's everything, like you said. You may see somebody who's drunk, and you may, in your mind now, you've labeled them an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one time they ever drank, their father died, and so you're seeing them for 30 seconds out of their life, but you've labeled, and that's what we do. We label everything. Yeah. We label people, we don't even see trees. We label, okay, that's a tree in our mind. So we don't see the individuality of an item anymore, or a person. We just put everyone in these groups. So, those are, like I said, little things that you can do, but you've got to have that love for yourself first. You can't give it to anyone else. You can't search for it in anyone else until you have it. Oh. So that's what the problem is. It's not your happiness and the love that you want is not in someone else. It's not in a place. I've had mansions and sports cars, and I'll tell you, you get in them and they're great for a week, and then it's back to the same thing because those things don't matter. So giving yourself the time, giving yourself the second chances. You know, we give everyone else second, third, fourth chances. We don't do that for ourselves. We beat ourselves up. We do something, and then we live with it forever. You kill somebody, you go to prison for murder, eventually you're gonna get out, okay? But you do something, your mind tortures you with it for the rest of your life. You never can get away from it until you find that love within yourself. You let go of the past, you let go of the fear of the future, and you live in the now, and that just changes everything.
Oh goodness, so powerful, so powerful. I love that. And Brent, oh Jesus, your responses are unlocking like epiphanies and revelations to me because I really just feel like you mentioned a word I love. He said repetition. And it's this like evil, surface-based, selfish, self-consumed, right? Very self-centered kind of world we live in. And I think underneath all of that selfishness, it's really one, ignorance. You are just simply unaware of why we've been put down here, and two, I just a little bit feel like it's despair because like you said in the beginning, Brent, we're put down here to serve and help and love other people, but now we are consumed with getting validation, with being the hottest whatever, with wearing the newest whatever. It's like we're self-consumed with image instead of impact. Oh, that was a word. Yeah, it's like we're
love that.
Right? You like that, Brent?
Good.
I know. It's like image instead of impact. And I think
Ego.
Yes,
Ego.
Ego. And a good friend of mine, Melissa Billy Clark, we talk all the time. She has a show here, Wellness 360 on LFN. And she said, Judea, I can't deal with people's ego. It's going to be your ego or I go. And I love that. Like that, right? I had to give her that credit. It's like that philosophy, ego or I go. And we've gotten so caught up in that we tend to forget what truly matters. So I love that you said that. That prompted my next question. Brent, if you can break this down for me. Oh, I'm learning here. This is school. I love it. So Brent, what is the difference between a therapist, a coach, and a counselor? What do you think?
Well, a therapist, and I love therapists. I have a lot of, friends and things, but a therapist is there, you're getting paid weekly or bi-weekly. They don't really want you to be, to get completely finished with them because then you don't need them anymore.
Good point.
That's their entire business, right?
Yeah.
So it's great to have that, but you to maybe get you started, to help you out here and there, but it comes down to you. No therapist is going to give you what you need, the tools that you need. You've got to do that. So, I mean, I help, I don't do a lot of one-on-one coaching because I do such big events and things, but if I do something like that, I mean, a coach is there more to give you, okay, this is what I did. This is the successes I had. This is how I did it. They kind of remove the steps. So in other words, you're paying someone because they've done what you want to do. So they can take your learning curve away. That's a coach. A therapist, though, you're talking about your problems and you're living in your problems. I mean, eventually they may get better, but you're constantly in them. So week in and week out, you're talking about them. You're going back to your childhood. You don't have to do that to get rid of these things because all you've got to do is drag them out of the dark. As soon as you bring these things into the light, they were created when you were a kid. Our mind was created before we were 10 years old. We were not mature. We were not logical. So when you see these things now and you realize, wow, this is the rusty old program that's running in my head, and you see it for what it is, it disappears because it's no longer logical. You know, when you were a child, you did things for survival or for whatever reason. Now you're an adult and you don't need to make those same mistakes. So seeing it lets it go. So again, if you need somebody to help you get started, that's one thing. But all of us have what we need inside without paying someone else to do it for us.
I love that because a lot of times when I go to therapy, it's like, Brent, if I can just be frank with you, in my head, I'm like, I don't need someone who's going to pacify.
Right.
right? Someone who's gonna pacify my issues or pacify my problems. I don't need a conversation. I need strategies and I need tactics that's going to enable me to move forward, that's going to enable me to continuously practice forgiveness, to not let grief consume me, to enable me to let go of bitterness. So I love that. Why do you think people project their fears onto other people?
Well, it's a natural thing because we don't want to look at ourselves. We have this thing where, our own faults, you can blame everyone else and for no matter for whatever happened to you in your past. And we all do that. We blame other people. But again, it is the fear of having to work on ourselves. And that's what it takes. I mean, in order to be happy, you're not going to be happy 24/7, no matter what you do.
That's true.
Prayer, meditation. I mean, every day, an hour a day, I'm in meditation. And it doesn't matter if you pray, you meditate, you need alone time with you.
Yeah.
You need to connect with your inner self. We're in a society that's 24/7, everything's on the phone, it's moving at light speed. We have no time for ourselves. So you have to give yourself some quiet time to sit and connect, and those things will pop up, those negative things from your past. And what you do, you don't embrace them, you don't go into them, you don't examine them, you let them and you let them go. Because what we do is something bad happens and we don't like the feeling. So what we do, believe it or not, we don't push it away, we take it inside and we hold it in there. That's what willpower does. So, you have a breakup with your boyfriend, and now every time you see a red pickup truck that looks like his, your stomach hurts and you get nervous and you're feeling the same things you felt when it was happening because you haven't let it go.
Yeah.
So, like I said at the beginning, bringing awareness, like osmosis, these things start to disappear. The little things immediately, they go. And then what happens is every time that happens, you pull back your power, you bring your power home. Okay, because you've got this reservoir of power, but you've got it spread out over so many things. I don't want to think about this. We can't talk about that. Oh God, remember when this snake did this? You have all these things in your mind. So little by little, they leave you, and you take the power you were wasting on that and direct it where it matters. And that's how you get ahead of your mind.
Oh, I love that. What I'm hearing there is awareness, right? Accountability and acceptance. It's like the AAA. You like that, Brent? That's what I'm hearing there. You kept mentioning this word power. Do you believe that silence is a superpower?
Absolutely.
How
Silence is a superpower. Because most people, somebody that you don't get along with walks up to you, right? And they bait you into an argument. Most people get sucked into it.
That's right.
Okay. And now you're living in their energy. You're living in their frequency. You're living in their power. And they are, you're allowing them to control the situation. Silence, why get pulled into it? What happens is the more you do this, what will happen is now when something happens in front of you, something that's dramatic or it's negative and you're about to get pulled in, all of a sudden this space will be created that gives you a moment. Everything moves in slow motion, it seems like, but it gives you time to go, do I want to get pulled into this? Is this worth my peace? And it's not. 99.9% of the time, it's not. And so you let go. Silence lets it go. You have the time to figure that out. It just happens. Every time you get rid of something that's holding you back, that gives you more willpower. So next time something happens, you're going to notice you start to build up this time where it looks like, wow, there's a lot of time here. I can actually think. Do I want to fight this person? Do I want to argue? Do I want to tell them all the bad things about themselves?
Right.
No. And you let it go. And silence is beautiful because it doesn't, you can, to somebody who is in a negative mindset all the time, anything you say is going to start a fight. Anything you say they're going to try to pull you in. So silence is golden. It really is.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Oh God, Brent, I love that. We have to connect off air because I love that. It's seriously, like if they consistently and consecutively operate from a negative perspective, even constructive criticism is going to be viewed as an attack to them. It's going to be viewed as and the truth of the matter is, quite frankly, you're not attacking them. You're actually doing the opposite. It's ironic. You're trying to help them. But because they live, right, they breathe and they operate out of that negativity, even advice, right, or a nice conversation, that's going to sound like an attack, right, which is a little bit of narcissistic behavior. So you kept mentioning peace. Before we go to commercial break, you kept mentioning peace. And of course, I did my research. I went on your Instagram page, and I love all of these motivational short clips of The Rock, of Serena Williams, of Denzel Washington. I mean, so many other motivational speakers. But I came across this guy, and he said that sometimes you're going to find peace when you go to war with yourself, which sort of sounds like a contradiction, which sounds like an oxymoron. So can you elaborate? And what does peace look like? You're going to find peace when you go to war with yourself. Woo! What does that mean?
Well, you're going to find peace when you get rid of the pieces of yourself that are holding you back, that are wanting to fight with everyone else, that are, because we are mirrors. When you see something in someone else that upsets you, that you don't like, it's because that is in you. It's because it's something you don't like about yourself. I'm always upset with people that are late. I'm always, you know why? Because I hate that about myself.
Yeah.
So peace is on the other side of letting go of this human need to be right, to have the best, to be the best, to think that there's, a pie with only so many pieces. If you don't get yours, if you don't get yours, I can't have mine. That's not the way it is. There's enough for everyone. So peace is there when you realize there is no competition. There's creation. You're creating, right? Competition is worthless. There's no two people in the universe ever that are going to have all the same experiences, the same strengths and weaknesses. So forget about competing with your neighbor. You're running and you look aside to see the person running next to you, you're going to lose because you're paying attention to them. Block everyone out and you put your focus on you. And again, that's how you find your peace. You get rid of those pieces of you that want to fight and that are in war, and pieces of your past that live in that. You let them go.
Oh my goodness, Brent, this is powerful. Oh my goodness, this is so powerful. I'm gonna take your sentence and then just resurface that, deciding not to live in someone else's frequency. And I love that he said it's not competition, it's creation, right? The moment that you feel this is why I'm not competitive, Brent, I'm just myself. I show up, right, in my best form, whatever that might look like. I think that the moment you begin to compete, there's an insecurity, whether you know it or not, that you're exhibiting, that's disseminated. Yeah, you're exhibiting this insecure air because you think that there's not enough healing for you. There's not enough opportunities for you. And it's quite the contrary. So I love that. Oh God, Brent, we're going to have part 2 and I'm going to pick your brain some more. Excellent. I am so honored to get to interview you, but we are going to take a quick commercial break and then we will be back with much more of the AM show and our special guest, Brent Webb. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. Judea Hartley here, and welcome back into the AM show. It's our 100th episode, and we are going to continue with our special treat, our special guest, motivational speaker, life coach, author, right, spiritual activator, Mr. Brent Webb. This is part 2, everybody. Brent, how we feeling?
Feeling great.
Oh, goodness, Brent. I'm telling you, on the break, Brent, I said to myself, I am learning so much from him, right? A lot of the time in your professional career, you're just going through the protocol, right? You're going through the intricacies, the detail. It's just protocol. And then here and there, far and few in between, you have those experiences that I'm having right now where you're actually like learning from the person. I'm like, don't compete, create, right? Don't dwell on a negative thought. Step into awareness, right? Don't live in other people's frequency. Don't take the bait. 9 times out of 10, it's not worth it. So I love that. So Brent, let's not waste any more time. I love this. Let's dive deep into part 2. So tell me, what do you think, Brent, is the most common mistake that people make in life?
The most common mistake, I think, is the fact that we live for other people. We were brought up, and so we take on the the dreams of our parents, of our siblings, of our communities. And so a lot of people, they may be, my dad wanted me to be a lawyer. And so he was so upset that he thought because I like to argue so much, I would be such a great lawyer. But that wasn't my dream. I'm sitting in college going, man, I can't do this. There's no way. And I just, I went out and started following my thing. I think each person has something that they want to do. There's a flame, an ember, it's ready to erupt into this burning fire, but we don't understand it. We know there's something we want to do, but we don't pursue that. So I think one of the great things to do in that silent time that you're taking for yourself is to figure out, are your dreams really yours? Are they your dreams, or are they the dreams that other people put in you? Because you're here in this life. Do you want to waste that life living someone else's idea of what your life should be? I mean, so I think that's the biggest mistake, is always you're getting your self-worth, your self-image from other people. It's finally figuring out who you are, what you want, and then the path starts to become crystal clear. Once you just decide, it just takes decision. I'm going to do it, right? I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to find out what it is that I want to do. That path will start to appear in front of you.
Fascinating. Flat out fantastic. And that speaks to that external validity that we are still, right, Brent? It's like we're still seeking, is this okay? Am I doing a good job, right? Am I worthy, right? So that's what I'm saying. Underneath that desire and that urge to be accepted, it's really low self-esteem and despair. So I think that moment of solitude and isolation will really bring revelation to who you are, whose you are, and why you're here. So with that being said, how should people, right? Let's frame this the right way. How should people deal with rejection?
Well, we all get rejected. We all have things that happen. But it's like I try to explain to people, imagine, we're living in two worlds here, because we are. There's your inner world, there's the world of, thoughts and ideas and emotions, and then there's this outer world of, the world and people and things and places. And those worlds are connected to each other. So if somebody on the outside comes up to you and says, man, you look like, awful today. What's wrong with you? You take that in, right? And you get upset by it, and it affects you. It could ruin your day. So there's this idea that because the worlds are connected, your inner world, your outer world, it's all the things that people, all the things people think are worth so much. The sports car, the house, all those things. In the outer world, they're nothing. It's all the inner things that you got for free, confidence and love. And those are the things. So if you accept the fact that you're living in two worlds, inner world, outer world, they're connected. So instead of doing what 99.9% of the people do, which is something happens on the outside and you let it affect your inner,
right?
You flip the script. They're connected, right? So use your inner world to affect the outer. Change your attitude, change the negativity to positivity, change giving your neighbor, not talking to your neighbor, to showing love to your neighbor. You change your inner world and the outer world changes. Instead of letting the outer world dictate your inner, and it changes by what they say, what they do, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop in that way. So instead, your inner world is what matters. Okay, all the things that matter in life are there. Love, okay?
Yeah.
Go out and buy me a pound of love and bring it back in the outer world.
You
can't do it. It's all an inner game that you've got to give yourself first. When you give yourself love, you create love. You get it from other people, you give more of it. You're not out there searching for it. So doing that first, again, knowing the worlds are connected will change everything. Little steps, repetition. It's going to take a little bit of time. It took us decades to get here. So you're not going to fix it overnight. But, one great thing I tell everyone, which is a great mind trick, get a Post-it note. Draw a picture of a flower or a heart or something. Put that on your fridge. Put that on above your desk. Every time you see that, you think, what's on my mind right now? Okay? Because you'll start to realize 90% of the time during your day, you're thinking negatively. So again, it brings awareness. You see the little scribble you drew, and it's your reminder. What's on my mind right now? Because most of our day is on autopilot. It is being run by that rusty old program. So anytime you stop and you become aware, boom, you put a gap in the tape, which is going to give you that space next time. So these little hacks anything you can do. I don't care what it is. Carry a stone around. I have one here. I carry this. I call it a mind stone. It's just a rock I picked up from outside. Carry it in your pocket. Now I'm in my pocket getting change for something. I touch that rock. I become present. The rock is my reminder. Okay. So anything you can do, mind hacks, tricks, anything at all to give yourself that awareness is going to start changing things massively.
Oh my goodness, mind blown again, right? As you were talking, I was just thinking about how there's so much power in what we say. So that's why we have to be careful what we spew out, positively or negatively, because if you keep that up consecutively, you're gonna actually see that physically manifest. You are. And then when you were speaking, I thought about the power of affirmations, right? Like I wrote on my, I have like this board at home and I put sticky notes on it, and I read one last night and it said, you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started in order to be great. So I love that. And all of the tools that you just laid out, Brent, it really just teaches us how to deal with narcissists, how to deal with gaslighters, and how to have peace in the middle of the storm. So I love that. And I know that we have to wind down, but before I close with you, I want to ask you, I saw this quote on your Instagram again, and I loved it so much. And it said, if you never heal from what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who never cut you. How do people stop their bleeding on other people? You're bleeding on people that are there to serve and protect and love you. They didn't cut you, right? But you are taking your trauma and your baggage into this new opportunity, and you're poisoning it. You're contaminating it. How do people stop?
Again, it's just awareness.
Yeah.
You have to realize what's happening. That's a 90% of the game. You've almost succeeded because most people are just brainwashed and sleepwalking. So the awareness, that if you know you're having a negative thought, you are winning. It's the people that don't realize that their thoughts are so negative. They're going through day after day after day of that. Because you're right, affirmations, the things that you speak to yourself are more powerful than anything else. You know, if you're saying, I hate my life, why does this always happen to me? I never get this. You are affirming that and making that a fact, and you're absolutely right. You're going to manifest that in your life.
Yeah.
So you've got to be, the words you say to yourself are the most important words of all. And
I love that.
Most people, man, they don't think twice about what they say to themselves.
Yeah.
They worry about what they say to everyone else. But it's you. It's what you say to yourself before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, that it figures out how your day is going to be or the next day is going to be. You don't go to bed at night. Don't go to bed at night thinking about all the problems of the day. You're going to wake up continuing that day, right? You want a new day. So you go to bed positive. You think of the things you want. You put yourself in that feeling. You see yourself there, and you'll start to manifest it.
Ooh, I love that. Oh gosh. Okay, Brent, in our closing, right? You got to play this 35-second game with me, and I call it fill in the blank, right? So I'm going to start the sentence, Brent, and then I want you to fill it in with your truth, with your practices. Okay, so first one, I feel the most effective when?
I feel the most effective when I meditate twice a day, every day. I'm at the top of my game.
Love that. Happiness means
loving yourself first, giving yourself the second chance, and knowing that it's not about the outer world, it's about you and making yourself happy first.
Let's switch that. Joy means
doing the thing that you love, the passion, and it's got to be something that helps other people. It's got to be something that, I used to spend my time on stages getting standing ovations, and it's great for that moment, but it's hollow afterward.
Yeah.
And so working with other people, and when somebody says, wow, you changed my life, I had a lady, stage 4 cancer, 4 kids, single mother. They told her she had 6 months to live. She was just petrified. Now, 3 or 4 years later, she's not only is she still alive, but she's aware, she's accepted. She knows, no matter what happens, her body is not sick, right? She is like a driver in a car. Her car may be not doing well, but at some point she's going to get out of that car, right? And she's going to go on to something else. So that knowledge, change everything for her. So those are the things that really do it for me now. It's not about the mansions and the cars and the performing. It's about seeing the light come on in someone's eyes who's never had that before.
I find beauty in
people that are being themselves. So I don't care what, ugliness, and even some people in a good way, it's when you put on an act for other people.
Yeah.
Because I don't care how great it looks. You see famous people that have all the money in the world, all of the looks, they commit suicide. That's not the key, obviously. Money's not the key. Looks aren't the key. You've got to have that love for yourself first. So I think, seeing that in yourself will change that for you.
I love that. Describe your career in one word.
Blessed.
Describe your heart in one word.
Evolving.
Describe love in one word other than love.
Us.
Bless, evolving, in us. Last one, and we're closing. Interpret this quote I found on Instagram. On your Instagram. The man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. What does that mean?
Well, the man on top of the mountain got there by their hard work and their determination, their struggles that you don't see. We see these people that attain these things and we're jealous or we're mad or I could have done that. You never see what got them there. You see the end result, he's an overnight success. You don't see the 20 years he went through to become an overnight success. So again, it's stop looking at everyone else, stay in your own lane and, make the world better for you, your family, your loved ones, and the people around you. It's everyone. So if you're somebody who is, strip mining or doing something against nature, against other people, I don't care how rich you are. You're living a miserable existence. It has to be, if you're making money, great, but you have to be doing something that is good for humanity, that's helping each other, not something that's bringing other people down.
Brent Webb, everybody. Oh, gosh. Brent, oh my goodness, you are, to say the least, flat out fantastic. I learned so much. I can't wait until we go to the commercial break because I am going to jot down all of these gems and jewels that you have dropped that are going to fortify and definitely change the trajectory of my life. I could talk to you forever. I do a little segment on the show called Power on Purpose, and I was so blessed that they accepted and approved that segment because I just think that we should empower each other and serve people and enlighten people in a positive way and not live in other people's frequency. That was one of my favorites. So Brent, before we depart, right, sadly, unfortunately, I could talk to you forever. Why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find you?
The best way to find me at the website, successsecrets.net. You can get a copy of my book there. It's free. Again, I just want to get this message out. The more people that understand they're standing in their own way, the better your life's going to be. And then the people around you, their lives are going to change by osmosis. So successsecrets.net, get your free book, and then you can find out how to follow me online from there. But nothing to buy. I just want you to have it. And, this is how we change the world. We get these messages out and we start, helping people around us, and it just starts to grow.
I love that. Brent, thank you so much for gracing us with your wisdom, with your positivity, your energy, because energy is transferable, right? And your knowledge, right? On our 100th episode of the AM show. I'm definitely going to connect with you off air, but Brent, from the AM show to you, I appreciate the insight and the education that you've disseminated to us today. Thank you so much, Brent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Wow, everybody. Brent Webb, you know where to find him on Instagram, right? You heard him say his website. You really do need to get connected with Brent. As you can see, it was flat out fantastic. I love learning and growing, right? And evolving. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Do y'all know it's our 100th episode? Just say it. We will be right back with much more of the AM show. Happy Friday, everybody.